Yeah. Our fifth speaker is a passionate photographer and the most creative person in our club. She joined Toastmaster in 1992 and her first club was Tampa Toastmaster 1810. She achieved her CC in 93, then took a break from Toastmasters and rejoined in 2012. So she completed her CC in 1 year and it took her 5 years to complete DTM. The title of her speech tonight is A Journey of Dropout Toastmaster to Distinguished Toastmaster. Please give a huge round of applause for our DTM Janet Moyle.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, fellow DTMs, and guests. Welcome tonight. Who out here wants to be a DTM? Anybody? Start over again. What do you think DTM means? That's a good one. Have we heard don't time me? Have we heard that one? Don't time me. I believe that DTM stands for dedicated to mentoring. I remember many years ago, in 1992, I walked into a Piccadilly restaurant at West Shore Plaza, and there was John Morris, Joan Noble, Sanford Sable, and a few years later, there was Steve Beale. My mentor was, and still is, Joan Noble. And many of you have been assigned mentors, and that's great. But also we have mentors that aren't assigned. And I'd like to tell you about a mentor that I had that was not assigned. His name was Jack Boldrick. He was a fine DTM. And I had left Toastmasters on a whim. I thought I had learned all I needed to learn. It was all about me the first go around in Toastmasters, about how many ribbons I could get. I was a ribbon grubber. Didn't matter about anybody else, just about me. I left, thought I was great. And every year I said, I'm going to go back to Toastmasters, I'm going to go back, and I never did. All of a sudden, in 2011, I opened up the obituary, and I see where Jack Boldrick had passed away. And I thought to myself, oh, I want to go to the funeral, but I don't know that I can because I'm in retail. I thought to myself, well, I'm not going to make it. I'm sure I got the paper the day before the funeral, and I decided to write a speech. And it was in the form of a letter, and I wrote it, and I delivered it to the funeral home. And then, lo and behold, later on, I was able to get off work and go to the funeral. And this is the letter that I wrote to the family. Dear Boldrick family, Jack Boldrick was an inspiration to me in Tampa Toastmasters 1810. I was an active member from 1992 to 1996. Since then, I had visited the club occasionally. Mr. Boldrick epitomized greatness in speaking and evaluating. He was intelligent, interesting, professional, funny, encouraging, and kind. He treated us all like a part of the family. Jack gently pushed us toward refinement. Enclosed is a copy of an evaluation of my counterintelligence speech I did in January of 1995. I won the ribbon. On April 24, 1995, I delivered another speech called Fragrant Love Letter. We had buck slips, and I kept every single one of my buck slips. And in one of the buck slips, Jack Boldrick wrote, "This was the best you've ever done." After the speech, he came up to me and said to me, "That was the best you've ever done." I felt like I'd won 10 ribbons. Jack Boldrick made a huge difference in the lives of Toastmasters. My evaluation of him would be, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests, Mr. Jack Boldrick was almost perfect. Sincerely, Janet Moyle. A few weeks later, all the way from Scotland, I got a letter from his daughter. Dear Janet, thank you so much for coming to Dad's service on Saturday. It meant a lot to us, as did your memories of our dad in Toastmasters. If he were to have evaluated your letter to us, he would have called it perfect. I can't thank you enough for taking the time to write. And that's what it is. Dedicated to mentoring is so important. And I think that that's what I've learned. I went back to Toastmasters the following Monday and joined. They had to find my actual, we called it CTM back then, in archives, because they couldn't find it. They finally found it a month later, but I was able to start back up again, and here I am. But what I've learned too, it's not just about me, it's about all of you. And if you want to become a distinguished Toastmaster, I want to help you. If you don't want to be a distinguished Toastmaster, you just want to keep getting better and better, I want to be able to help you on that too. So that's what I want to say to you tonight. I have a couple things that I think that a mentor is. And you all may have remembered John Wesley. Do all the good you can by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you ever can. And with that, Plato said, those having torches will pass it on to others. And I'd like to also mention that in my second go round of Toastmasters, some of my mentees, one was assigned, and that was Anna Oja, and she became president. I'm so proud of her. And thank you so much for being you're a great mentee. And my unassigned mentee, is Katie O'Brien. And I had sent her in college, I bought it though, I bought a manual and mailed it to her at FSU and wanted to see if she would join Toastmasters, and she couldn't find the right time with her busy schedule because she worked a job too and went to school. And look at Katie, she's going to be our president next term, and I'm so proud of you. And I'm proud of everybody here. And don't quit like I did. It was a big mistake. I took some of the interpersonal skills with me, but I definitely did not take with me in that leave of absence public speaking skills. So with that, I want you to know who I am now. I'm not Janet Moyle.
Super Janet.
I am mentor. Pass it on.